What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for another episode in our little Interloper playthrough. Today is a fortuitous day in our Interloper playthrough. Today's going to be good. I can tell. We're going to get all of our tools done. Our forge is up. It's hot. It's running. It's doing its thing. We got a hatchet over here that we can craft. I'm going to mash that out real fast because we got a little bit of energy left. But we're going to be here for a day or two. The nice part about the forging process, in case you hadn't really thought about it, is that it's outside. That's why I prefer to do my forging at the Muskeg. Some people prefer to do the one that's over at Desolation Point. I'm not that guy, because, like, the thing is, when you're forging in Desolation Point, you're doing it all inside. And so cabin fever comes up as a problem. I know I've been harping about cabin fever. It's not, like, that huge of an issue, but you do have to play around it. If you get cabin fever at the wrong time, it can not kill a playthrough, but it can definitely be a major inconvenience that'll kind of jam you up. And so anyways, what I like about this is when you forge your tools, this allows you to be outside for a while, which means I can go straight home. And when I go home, I can spend like 15 hours making my boots, making my pants, making my bow, without having to worry about cabin fever, because I've been technically outdoors for the last like 48, 72 hours. It buys you a nice little gap. What do we have going on over here? We got 5 hours left on this thing, so you can break down these planks over here. That's an option if you're looking for somewhere to get the water from. I'm sorry, if you're looking for someplace to get the wood from. Take you like 45 minutes or so to bash it on up, but you should be able to stay ahead of the wood curve over here just by breaking down planks and all the random stuff that's around. We still have a lot of coal left, but since the forge is already heated, I would say that really it's not a concern right now. I don't think it's a problem. I would rather use wood than the coal, because then what we can do is... Oh my god, what happened over here? How come there's no shelves? There was shelves right here a minute ago. That's weird. I wonder if it failed to load or something. Odd. Alright. Well, I mean, we've got plenty of firewood around, so, I mean, we can chill out here for a little bit. There's a note left behind. Do you see the stars? Do you see that you're there? It's a fault of the mind to perceive separation. The same fault creates time. Look around and observe. Your father was trying to preserve what we have. The boxes hold the seeds of the universe. Breathe deep and persist. Fix that goal in your mind and concentrate on a single flower. You'll feel that warmth on your cheeks again. This is just the signal from beyond. It's just a passing cloud from another world. The songbirds will fill the pink skies. All right. Thank you, Deepak Chopra. I appreciate that. Let's maybe catch a nap for right now. We're a little off-center with regards to, like, I'd like to pass a little bit more time today, just to get a few more arrowheads done, because we've got time. I think I could probably do another set of 2 arrowheads, just to kind of move the clock forward a little bit before we sleep. Actually, I could probably get away with 3. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. File those things down. The more arrowheads we have, the better. I strongly recommend making like 20, 30, 40, 50 arrowheads now so that you don't have to do it later. The other option is that you can make more than one knife or more than one hatchet. Between you and me, I think the hatchet's probably more useful. And if you do that, you can not use any whetstones on the first hatchet that you make, and you can just use all the whetstones on your knife. It's up to you, though. But it's a decent plan. I would say to maybe consider making 2 of everything if you've got the time while you're out here, because it will buy you, like, your first set of weapons with whetstones should last you the first 100 days, no problem. After that, they're going to start breaking because you're going to run out of whetstones, and you're going to be back over here forging like every 8 seconds. And that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to conserve coal, is for future smiths. We're a little tired right now. We got like, what, 9 hours? I think it'll be okay. Let's go ahead and I'm going to chow down on some food real fast. We got dog food over here. And I did bring a can opener with me because I figured, I forgot, like, that's why I brought the can openers, because I remembered there was dog food down in and over here. That dog food's a little sketchy. I don't know if I want to eat it, especially when our status is so low. Might be a tad risky. I got to eat a little bit more, too. Don't worry about the cattail stalks. We can get plenty more inside of this zone. It's no biggie. Let's go ahead and we're going to mash out for, like, what? How much time do we have on the forge? We have 10 hours, roughly. Alright. Let's put in 8 hours of sleep. We'll get a little rest in. Our status is starting to look not so good, and so I just want to get my health bar back up while I'm out here, too. I'd like to return back to our base with all of our stuff smelted and crafted and made and built and all that kind of stuff without having to panic too much. Let me throw a little bit more fuel in here. I got some cedar, and I got a little bit of reclaimed wood. But we're going to have to spend some time. Let's get to the safe back here, We got 45 minutes on that. That'll give us some wood there. We've also got a little bit of water. Giggity, giggity, goo. Obviously, when we make wood references at this channel, we say giggity, giggity. Yeah, 6 right there. Looks good. Let's see if we can get inside this safe. And bing, like that, we're in. I used to show the safe cracking process, but we're on like the 8th safe now, so like, I kind of figure at this point, if you don't know how to crack a safe in the long dark, basically you just rotate it till you hit something, and then you rotate it back till you hit something, so on and so forth. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let me add some more wood to the fire. I want to keep this thing nice and hot, and we don't want to use our coal, because the coal is going to go in here for later. There we go. Coal's all set up inside of there. That means that later on when we come back and we want to forge some more stuff, we can do that pretty easily. Our energy levels are looking all right. Honestly, there's so many cattail stalks on this map that I think I'm probably going to keep my calories up just so we're sort of regenerating health a little bit while we're working. I don't want to go back and be super busted while I'm trying to work on other things. And so I'm going to kind of like overuse food right now in a calculated way. Alright. I will probably make another axe so that we have 2 of them. That way when one breaks, we can dive straight on into the other. 4 hours pass. We got a little bit of tiredness going on right now. That's okay. Let's go ahead and make a couple more arrowheads. We're going to go through the last of this metal. We'll sleep for a bit, and then once we figure out, you know, where our situation is, we'll move on out of here for the day. Perfect. Dehydrated. Unfortunate. I probably should have brought... We're going to be going back, and we're going to be kind of a risky business for a little bit with water. But I should be able to get that 2-top inside of the lodge. I'll probably get that running, and then with the 2-top inside of the lodge, I'll get 2 pots going, and we should be able to boil off a bunch of water without too many predicaments, I think. So what do we have going on right now? How's our inventory looking? So we've got 2 axes, obviously. A couple of improvised hatchets ready to go. Looks good. Oh, we do have a can. I guess I could boil off a little bit of water. Nah, just like make that right there. It's fine. It's no biggie. Okay, so we've got like 7 hours of fire left. I'm going to break down this guy. There you go. I'm going to break down this dude over here. Just trying to get a little bit more fire supplies ready to go. We'll want to remember for later when we come back that we've used up all the wood over here, and so we're going to have a different wood source. Oh, I boiled off all the water on accident. I wasn't paying attention. I forgot that I even set that up there. It's been a rough week, everybody, alright? My brain's not working good. It's been a rough week. We got 3 hours worth of work left to go, and then we can get the hell out of here. I don't know how many arrowheads we ended up with. Probably around 15 or so, I would assume. A couple more of those mashed out. And there you go. That's it. Our first forging trip was a market success. We've got 20 arrowheads. That should be easily enough to last us for a very, very long time. And so 20 arrowheads, if we're recovering them, like, intelligently. Oh, there's a woov over there. Alright, woov. I'm going to need you to go somewhere else, my guy. Sounds like there's another one on our left, too. We got problems. We got issues. Okay. I'm going to give this guy a second to clear on out. I don't know what the weather's looking like right now, whether we're in an advantageous position with regards to, I don't know if he can even come in here. He's keeping an eye on us, but it's a little bit of a close call with nature, if I'm honest. I don't know if I want to play around with that. I'm probably going to take like a 4-hour nap. Just to sort of pass time, get to the back end of the day. If you're looking for pleasant weather, it's usually the last couple hours before the sun goes down. If you're trying to, like, aim it properly. Alright, how much time do I have back here? 10 hours? We're good, man. We got nothing to worry about. Let's catch a little 4-hour nap. There's nothing a 4-hour nap can't fix. Up all night, 4-hour nap. Had a rough dinner, 4-hour nap. Drank a little bit too much, 4-hour nap. 4-hour nap fixes everything. Some people, they doubt my methodology with the 4-hour naps, but in my opinion, 4-hour naps will have you taken care of. It's a little foggy out here. I'm not mega pleased with the weather. I'm actually going to leave... No, we're going to take the hammer with us. I was going to leave the hammer inside the smelting place, but honestly, what I like to do now is kind of a workaround because you do go through durability pretty quickly on some of your items, like the hatchet and things like that. You go through durability pretty rapidly on those. You don't want to be burning through your whetstones crazy fast. You want to save those for your knife. And so anyway, since we have 2 hatchets and also a hammer, what I like to do in order to save durability on the hatchets is I use the hammer to break down refuse. I use it to break down crates and furniture and stuff like that instead. It takes a little while longer, but honestly, like, it'll save you some trouble. And I believe the hammer is easier to repair than a lot of the other stuff. I don't know, I'd have to take a look at it. Right now, we're sort of in the line of fire. I think I gotta go back across this way, right here. Yeah, there we go. We'll kind of smooth our way across the ice right there. It's easy to get disoriented in this fog. Don't worry about it too much, but it does happen. I feel like there's supposed to be a land bridge right there. It's like this is taking us back to the orchard, which is not really where I want to go. There's a house over there that I wanted to loot, but I can't see the land bridge with all this fog. It's getting up in my face right now. Like, I've got general directionality, so I think we should be alright. As long as we keep going that way, we'll end up at the end of the map, and then we can cut left. I'm going to try to grab all the cattail stalks and whatnot that I can on my way back home. But the big thing that we want to get done now is we want to finish off the hunting bow. The hunting bow is going to be incredibly important for us in the future. And so that's going to allow us, like, every time you get a deer with the bow, bam, bam, bomb, you've just fed yourself for the next week if you're using starvation tactics. If you're not using starvation tactics and you're just trying to keep a full stomach so that you can get the +5 carrying weight buff, then it'll feed you for about 2 or 3 days. But it's a good thing to have. On top of that, it gives us a level of defense against wolves that we haven't had up until this point in our playthrough, which is going to be very, very important. Without that, we're basically sitting ducks. It's also going to give us the opportunity to hunt moose, to hunt bear, and get some of the better items in the game, like the bear cloak, the moose hide satchel, all those sorts of little things. If you play your cards right and you play smart, you should be able to end up with 40 kilograms of carrying weight by the time you're pretty far into the game. I've always wished that carrying weight would level up slowly while you were playing the game. Like, every time you carried weight that was over your threshold, you would just have a skill that slowly ticks upwards called, like, I don't know, backpacking or something like that, hiking, strength, anything that they wanted to call it. And as it levels up, you know, each time it levels up, you can carry, like, 1 more kilogram. This fog is getting me into trouble right now. Having trouble navigating the paths. Well, unfortunately, with the fog as thick as it is, I had trouble charting my way across the map, and we also had a number of wolf problems at key choke points. So, suboptimal. Don't really want to be here that much longer, but I did get some venison, so that's pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and warm up by the fire over here. We'll also get some food into our system, and maybe that'll clean us up a little bit. Maybe it'll make us feel a little bit better. I just need to wait for this fog to, like, go somewhere else and, like, do something with its life. A little bit of water getting made right now. Let's go ahead and enjoy our dinner. So we've got some fresh cooked venison right there. I've never been a big venison guy. I've never really found venison to be that appealing. Some people I know really, really like it, but it was always felt, like, really gamey to me. It always felt super gamey to me. I think I picked up some sticks or something. Should be able to keep this going a little while longer. And there we go. Just to buy us a little bit of time. Just in case it becomes vital. Looks like the weather's getting a little bit better out here. If I could find a fir limb or something like that that I could dedicate myself to for a little bit, I think that would help out a bit. We got a cedar limb right there. It's going to take us 58 minutes. Yeah, why not? Get it done. We need more firewood anyways. We're a little bit tired. Day's basically over. Really, at this point, without coffee, I think we're going to be staying till tomorrow. I didn't really want to be here for another day, but I'm having trouble telling, you know, if I don't think there's really an option. We kind of got pinned by wolves while I was walking across the while I was walking across the muskeg. That combined with the very, very poor visibility just kind of rattled me. I didn't want to get wolfed on, and so, yeah, no. Such is life. A little bit more water. I'm also going to cook. Let's throw the gamey venison on there. It's not much, but it's a couple more calories to keep us rocking. Yeah, 202 right there. That'll keep us going. It'll be all right. A little bit tired at the moment. Not a lot of firewood left. We may have an issue getting out of here, but I doubt it. We'll probably be okay. We've still got a little bit of wood left in the form of this crate right here. I'm going to bash that up for an hour. Perfect. There you go. That'll probably hold us for a little while longer. While I was wandering, I found that house I was looking for earlier in the fog. Oh, there we go. We got a bit more coal that we can store inside of there, so I don't have to carry it around with me. Some accelerant on this side. That's the ticket. That's the stuff that I'm looking for. Break down that plank real fast. Break down that plank real fast. I'm just trying to make sure we got enough firewood to last through the night so that we don't freeze. If the weather decides to take a considerable dive on us, we're going to have a problem. I actually wanted to check, and I wanted to see how easy it was to repair. Let's see. How easy is it to repair a hammer? Oh, it takes a fir firewood. That's pretty easy. That's not that bad at all. Takes an hour. You get 20% on it. Yeah, it's easy peasy. All right. That's way easier to repair than a hatchet. So I wouldn't use the hatchet for much. In all honesty, I'd keep it mostly just for like bodies. And I think hatchet gets meat off bodies faster, and the knife gets the hides, and it gets the guts out faster, if I recall correctly. I also found another storm lantern, in case you were interested in that, although I can't see how you would be. Storm lantern, like, not really that useful of a piece of equipment. It's got 84.84 liters of fuel inside of it. Means we're up for like, I think we're around 4 liters of fuel right now, which is pretty crazy when we get back to the house. I need food. Luckily, I picked up like 15 cattail stalks in my halfway trudging lazy walk across the map. You guys see Ex Machina? I finally saw Ex Machina. It was on Netflix. And I was actually kind of surprised by how good it was. I enjoyed it. Like, it was a little predictable, but they almost got me. They didn't get me, but they almost got me with the twist at the end. I caught it like 10 minutes before the end. I caught it, and I was like, oh, I think I know what's going to happen. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you haven't seen Ex Machina and you enjoy movies that are about AIs and things like that, you'll probably like it. You'll probably enjoy it. It's a good time. It's not like the best film ever made, but it's an enjoyable film. It definitely had me watching. All right, so it's a fresh morning. We have visibility. We got 4 hours of fire. I'm just going to kind of kill time by cooking water until I feel like we've got a better temperature, because early in the morning, not really a great time to travel in the long dark. Early morning will get you in trouble. How cold is it out here? -2. Oh, -3. Even better. Okay, let's give it some time. Couple hours, we should be right as rain. We just got to sort of wait it out. Although we are out of firewood, so if it doesn't clear up in the next 2 or 3 hours, we're just going to have to make a run for it anyways. A little bit more of that. Dude, we're not going to have to worry about cabin fever for a minute after all this. We're going to be good to go. We're going to be super solid. All right, the sun's up. We got a -2 right now. I got full energy. Let's just book for it. Let's just run. I'm not going to be stopping off for cattail stalks or anything else like that as much as I can help it, because I just want to be up and off this zone. And really, by the end of this episode, I wanted to have the bow done. We're bypassing a lot of time right now, and it's making me nervous. We made reasonably decent time. I'm happy with where we're at right now. It got a little bit chillier than I would have liked. We got a little bit of a wind that kicked up. But we made it across the map with minimal damage to our status, and, like, I'll take that. I did want to talk briefly about the little cairns and things that you see around. Now, in terms of the long dark, they don't really do anything. The next time I see one, I'll point it out. But no doubt, you've probably seen them while I'm running around. The little rock piles, basically, that have, like, a little scrap of cloth on the top. And I wanted to talk about why you should not mess with one of those if you see it out in the wilderness. So out in the wilderness, like stone piles or stacks or cairns or trail markers, they tend to be used by people that live in that location to mark locations. You really should not mess with those and like knock them down or anything else like that out of respect. Not necessarily because it's a headstone. In this game, they treat them like they're headstones, but in real life, they're not usually headstones. In real life, what they're used for is they're used for like hunting routes. Some people use them. So, for example, in my industry, geology, geologists will use those to mark a trail to like a particular vein of ore or a particular bedding of rock that they're studying, or maybe that they're mapping or something like that. Maybe they had to go back home and they're coming back later and they use it for marking that. My recommendation is that you leave those alone. That's for a couple of reasons. The first one is that trail markers are used for navigation. You may not know what they're navigating to, but somebody does. And if somebody took the time to set up a trail marker, it means that they probably live in that environment, and that location is probably important to them in one way or another. You don't want to be responsible for somebody getting lost. B, if it's an occupational marker, you might be messing with somebody's livelihood. That might be somebody's marker for like a map that they're making, or it might be a marker, even worse, maybe it's a marker that a hunter uses to find his way back to like his favorite hunting ground or something like that. You don't really want to mess with that because you might, at worst case, be taking food out of somebody's mouth and making it so they might not be able to feed their family. And so really, as a general rule, when you're in the wilderness, you should leave stone piles alone. Some people are dicks and like knock them over and just kind of act rowdy. But if you're like out in the wilderness, like 2-3 hours from the nearest city, you should kind of show respect. If you leave a trail marker, there's kind of the tacit assumption that nobody's going to mess with it. If you're, I'm not talking about like at a national park or anything like that, like a publicized location. I'm talking about the wilderness. If you're out in the wilderness, there's kind of an assumption between like bush folk, people out in like the middle of nowhere, that like if they leave their markers, you're not going to mess with them. If you leave your markers, they won't mess with yours. And regardless of the reason that it's been left there, whether it's for an occupational reason or whether it's for a hunting reason or whether it's just for whatever, maybe it's their favorite spot to take pictures and it's their favorite way back to a scenic route where they can get a view of the valley or something like that. Either way, just don't mess with it. Leave them alone. It may be more important to someone than you realize at first glance. You know, I never want to be responsible for, like, taking food out of somebody's mouth if that's their marker to get back to their hunting grounds or something like that. You know, just leave them alone. Leave them alone. You can note them. You can look at them. You can try to figure out what they're for. But by and large, let them be. Alright, so we're back home right now. We've bought ourselves a considerable amount of time indoors by being outdoors for the last 3 days. So I should be able to huddle up and basically just kind of be a hermit for a little bit. And that's good, because we got a job to get done. I got to get this bow finished off. Once we get the bow finished off, we'll start hunting. I'm kind of a hunter of opportunity. I don't really go out and seek animals in this game. If I see one, I'll take a pot shot at it. But in general, I usually don't like walk around the map all day looking for something to hunt. That's not my MO. It's not what I try to do. But having the bow will provide us an additive layer of safety just in case something goes wrong. Our health actually dipped down lower than I expected right there, but we kind of caught a bad break with regards to the weather. I'm going to leave the sticks chilling right there, and we need to get some water going. So I'm going to start the bow off, but only after I've made a fire. So the cooktop's almost ready to go. We got a little, let me get some sticks up in here too. Use those as a bit of kindling. Do I have another flare with me? If I got another flare with me, we'll just light with the flare real fast. Perfecto. I'm going to save the accelerant. Why not? I'm going to save the accelerant. We've got a renewable fire source right now in the form of our flare, so I don't see the point in wasting an accelerant. Using an accelerant, I usually save that for when I really, really, really need to have a fire made, or B, I save it for when I've got to burn through matches unexpectedly, and I don't really want to use more than one. Let's get the fire up and made. We'll get some water boiled off. Today has been a very, very productive day for us in the world of the Long Dark. This sort of marks the transition for us between the early game and the middle game. Once you've got your tools made, the game becomes much more free flow. You don't really have to like plan what you're doing quite so much. I would pay special attention to like the goals that you wish to accomplish. We're actually going to make a whole bunch of water in here, so let's go ahead and I'm going to put that down. We'll melt off some snow right there. We'll melt off some snow right there. That should allow us to get a good, like, 8 liters done, I think. And then we'll be able to store a little bit of it. We'll be able to use a little bit of it. Did we get the maple sapling done? Where's my other maple sapling at? I need my maple saplings. So maple saplings. They're probably in here under M for maple. I'm pretty sure I need some cured gut in order to get this done. We're just going to put 2 hours in on this survival bow right here. We're going to use our hatchet to put in the time. And by the time we finish this off, our water should be finished upstairs. And actually, I'm dehydrated right now. Bit of a bummer. Wasn't planning on being dehydrated right now, but you know, these things happen. Always be proactive if you can. So try to do 2 tasks at once if it's possible. We have 7 liters of water kicking around right now. It's looking pretty good. With this 4, we'll have 11. That means we'll have 6 surplus water that we can kind of just like store in a corner around here. Just keep it like stacked up in case we need it for later. I personally prefer to put it inside of a container just because it's easier to move stuff around. Let's go ahead and do another 2 hours on that job right there. Good. Looking solid. We should be able to get the bow done today, I think. And once the bow's finished off, we'll start making ourselves some arrows. But this is going to be kind of a long, arduous process. It's going to take us a little bit to get some of these things finished off. Got a whole bunch of wood over here. I don't know if I want to burn through more. I think we're looking good on water right now. So maybe don't go too crazy with it. Let's go ahead and I'm going to drop off like... I guess I can't. We don't have any space over there. I'll use this shelf right here. We'll go ahead and drop like 5 liters of that just to keep our weight down. And there you go. Now we can just sort of stack this up on a shelf over here. I think we're actually better off putting it on the top shelf. Good. Make this place look a little lived in. With the jerry can, I think I would rather have that up there. Now, if that's all finished off, you know what we got to do. We only got a little bit of time left in the day. So, oh, we got 4 hours left on this thing. Good God. All right, well, keep it going. Get as much done as you possibly can, and we'll finish it off in the morning. Looks like we got about 70% done. That's okay. That's passable. I can live with it. It's all right. We're going to dive into our food stocks for a minute while we get things done over here. And then I think we are just about out of time for the day. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me for another episode of our Long Dark series. You guys have been so tremendously supportive of a series that I honestly thought was just going to be like a fun thing that I would do out of the corner of my eye. I wasn't really like planning on this to become a thing that got uploaded multiple times a week, but the first episode did like 100,000 views, and so I was like, oh my god, well apparently people really want to see me play The Long Dark. And so it turned into a thing that we're getting done right now. And I actually really am enjoying myself. This is kind of my relaxation episodes where I don't have to focus too much. I kind of just have a good time playing the game. And I appreciate you guys showing up and making that possible. So I will see you all next time. Take care, everybody. Hi-do. And that's it for me.